This week in Jamaica Now, Governor General suspends the use of an insignia depicting a black man as Satan. 3 St. James cops arrested in narcotics bust in the United States. Saharan dust blankets Jamaica, a second wave could be on its way. Daryl Vaz stripped of land portfolio and assigned responsibility for water and housing. Party full of pastors to run in the next general election. And drive-thru graduation, how one primary school bid farewell to its grade 6 students. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen has suspended personal use of the controversial insignia of the Order of St. Michael and St. George. The insignia depicts a white man cited as a triumphant archangel with his foot on the neck of a black man deemed to be Satan. It had ignited a firestorm in social media. Sir Patrick says he has asked his office to review all insignias and iconography associated with the office of the Governor General that may be considered racialized or culturally inappropriate. In the meantime, the Governor General has sent a letter to the Chancellor of the Order of St. Michael and St. George requesting a revision of the image used on the medal. 3 St. James-based cops are now behind bars in a United States jail on drug charges. The 3 were arrested as part of an ongoing joint narcotics operation in Atlanta, Georgia, and Charlotte in North Carolina. They have been identified as Woman Constable Shermaine Latoya Gooden, Constable Damar Graham, and Constable Trevon Davidson. It is understood that the police personnel were held transporting cocaine. Meanwhile, a 4th cop, a woman constable, was flown back home and is now in the custody of the St. James Police. She has not been identified. In a press statement issued last Wednesday evening, the police credited the ongoing investigations and intelligence sharing with their U.S. counterparts for the arrest of the 3 Jamaican constables. The head of Jamaica's Meteorological Service is warning Jamaicans to prepare for a possible second wave of the Saharan dust. It has been affecting Jamaica all week, but improved towards the weekend. The director of the Meteorological Service Jamaica, Evan Thompson, said people should continue to take precaution, but should not be alarmed.
Now we're starting to see that conditions are beginning to look a little bit more favorable. The dust is subsiding to some extent, and we're again seeing an increase in our visibility as we can see farther distances.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has been fending off critics following a statement he made in Parliament this week. During discussions on the sexual harassment bill, Chuck suggested that there should be a limit to the period within which a complainant can file a sexual harassment complaint.
We don't want the situation that now happens in the Me Too movement in the US, where 30 years later, you talk about I was harassed in the elevator. No, but look at Mr. Chuck. When he used to teach him, he used to make pass at me. I wouldn't even remember.
Yeah, but
if I did.
Yeah, but Minister Chuck, that is the person's accusation. If they had a record, of that.
20 years ago.
Yeah, but if they had a record of it or is able to provide evidence. But this is just my point in the sense that I don't think we can put a time frame on, and we could be re-victimizing the person all over again.
Daryl Vaz has been stripped of the ministerial responsibility for land and the environment. Jamaica House said Prime Minister Andrew Holness has instead assigned him responsibility for the water and housing portfolios. This coincides with the controversy over Vaz's withdrawn bid to lease Hollywell lands. Leslie Campbell, the newly sworn-in minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, will assume responsibility for land, environment, and climate change. Meanwhile, Jamaica House said Vaz will be tasked with ensuring that water and housing projects are accelerated and that economic projects like the special economic zones become a reality in short order. The Education Ministry is reporting that 80% of grade 6 students have been placed in one of their preferred high schools under the Primary Exit Profile Assessment. This year, several components of the PEP exams were not held because of the coronavirus. As a result, grade 6 students were assessed based on the grade 4 numeracy and literacy exams sat in 2018, the grade 5 performance task exams of 2019, and the abilities test done in February this year. Meanwhile, Education Minister Carl Samuda says 16% of the cohort has been placed at a secondary school near to their current primary school, while the remaining 4% had been placed by home addresses. A party full of pastors has indicated that it will be running for the next general election due by February 25 next year. Pastor Robert Rainford, the authorized representative of the Jamaica Progressive Party, said the organization was divinely inspired. According to Rainford, the party was ramping up its campaign machinery, and Jamaicans would be seeing and hearing from its 54 prospective candidates as they visit communities come July. More than 80% of the prospective candidates are pastors. Rainford has declined to list the names of the pastors until a later date. He says canvassing by the party has indicated widespread disaffection with the ruling Jamaica Labour Party and the opposition People's National Party. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on your notifications and subscribe today. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, a drive-through graduation, how students of the Dunrobin Primary School in St. Andrew bid farewell amid COVID restrictions.
Normally, students look forward to, at grade 6, there are 3 major things: school living exercise, exam, exit exam, and the grade 6 trip. Because of the pandemic, it's had brought a damper. And so, we wanted to have something for the children to go off, something to lift their spirit. Some of the senior teachers were here, and the grade 6 teachers were all here because I'd called them to a meeting to discuss the way forward. Yes. And so, I shared the idea with them. Then I asked them to notify the parents, because they thought it was a good idea. So they notified the parents because they would be online doing the teaching. So I called a meeting with the parents. All this is short notice, just a week and a half to put this together.